Hello and welcome back to the lecture on macroeconomics for managers. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the different data sources that we have and we use in different macroeconomic research. I'll talk about these data sources, particularly keeping the Indian context in mind. Mainly, if we look at the different data sources, it is the government that actually publishes a lot of data on different macroeconomic indicators. Department of say Economic Affairs (DEA) they publishes monthly report on say economic status of the country, but that is not really the primary data. I mean, you can't really do research with this data. What you depend on, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation (MOSPI), they actually collect their own data, and also they kind of collect data from other agencies. So let me explain what I mean by that. So they have National Sample Survey. Every year, throughout the year, basically they keep conducting all this sample survey, and that sample survey um, collects data, for example, on unemployment. So in certain survey they will collect data on unemployment, and certain other survey they will collect data on say consumption expenditure. So these are very important macroeconomic variables, okay? And these are basically their own data. They are collecting this data using their own survey mechanism. So MOSPI has a very large wing of survey mechanism. It also collects data on gross domestic product (GDP). They have a division called National Accounts Division (NAD), collects this data GDP, and this GDP data it is a secondary data. They cannot they don't go to household to household or farm to farm to collect this data, but rather what they do is they collect data from 40 ministries, 40 ministries and 32 other departments about the output in that corresponding respective sector, and they kind of add them up. So there is some formula. We'll actually learn a little bit about how this GDP is calculated in the next lecture. So this is how they actually collect this GDP data. They publish it quarterly as well as annually. Then they have this consumer price index data, CPI data. CPI data again, they have a division called Price Statistics Division (PSD). They collect this CPI data and they publish every month. So this one, they have actually how they do it is they have a fleet of surveyors who are kind of in rural and urban areas. Like they have designated areas where they kind of every month they will kind of survey the market price of different items. So they have a basket that constitute the CPI, Consumer Price Index. So again, this is another term that we need to go in detail. They also publish Index of Industrial Production. They call it IIP, Index of Industrial Production. They also collect data on, say, they have recently launched indicator that is called Index of Services Production, ISP. So what these indicators are, basically they kind of indicate the uh, production in say in IIP. They kind of see the production in say mining, electricity and all other manufacturing sectors, whereas in services they see the production in the services sectors, and they kind of it's a data set that you can use to kind of measure the growth in these corresponding sectors. Other sources of data apart from MOSPI, we have RBI, of course, Reserve Bank of India. They publishes say money supply data every month. They publish that. They um, yeah, they kind of other indicators that related to money market operations and all. So we'll just talk about money supply data. They publishes repo rate. Okay, they publishes call money. We'll talk about all these details. Let's not get into too much into detail, but these are the things they kind of uh, the details you get from their website. For export import data, that is another important indicator, macroeconomic variable. Export import, you get it from Ministry of Commerce, and they have a wing called DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade. So they publishes this export import data. All right. Now these are the major sources of macroeconomic data. There are certain things about macroeconomics and which kind of distinguishes it from the other branches of economics like microeconomics is that it is very unlikely that you can do any experiment in macroeconomics. So all this survey data, all these existing data, collected data, that's all you have. I mean, you can't really, you know, change the money supply to see the impact. So experiments are very important in economics, but and it is becoming an emerging field in economics. But unfortunately, in macroeconomics, you can't really do that. Only way to do experiment in macroeconomics is the natural experiment. For example, recently this COVID phenomena is a natural experiment, or demonetization is a kind of natural experiment, man-induced but natural kind of, Great Depression is one natural experiment, and people actually write a lot of theories because this kind of scenario changes economy a lot. So you can actually understand a lot of underlying sort of mechanism that way. So this is one way of like using this kind of opportunities to actually exploit basically these opportunities, this phenomena to kind of understand the macroeconomic principles and theories we can derive. Um, However, like any other method, the one major problem or one major thing that we need to kind of be careful about is to actually understand things causally. The causal aspect of it. And normally, what we do is we kind of try to get rid of many other possible explanations. Like to kind of reach to the final explanation. So we'll talk more about all this use of this data set when we kind of build the models, and I'll end the lecture here.